Hey, Brian, your lunatic friend. You ever fall asleep in church? One of the reasons I sit in the back row is so that I can lay my head on the pew in front of me. Sometimes I like to pretend like I'm praying. Yeah, my Bible is open, but my eyes are closed. So I'm reading Charles Swindoll in his Insight for Living devotional, and he starts talking about the reasons we fall asleep in church. At least for those of you who are like me, who were raised in church from childhood, Chucky says, it's a tradition. We are often trained to do it. As children, we stretched out on the pew beside our folks, and were encouraged to sleep rather than make a disturbance. I'm pretty sure that my mom's early prayers were that I would stay asleep in church. I can still remember when I was about 5 and awake during a church service. There was this old man in the row in front of me. Fell asleep all the time. His head would fall back and his mouth would gape open. I remember getting in trouble one time for tearing up little pieces of paper from my Sunday school lesson and dropping them into his mouth so that he would blow them up in the air when he would exhale. Anyway, there's a story in the book of Acts that says there was a young man named Eutychus sitting on a windowsill, sinking deep into sleep as the Apostle Paul kept talking. Imagine that. The guy who wrote half the New Testament still put people to sleep in his services. The story goes on to say that the kid falls asleep and then falls out of a window 3 stories up, and he dies. This is why I never sleep in a window. It goes on to say that Paul goes down and brings him back to life. Hey, I ain't making this up. This is what it says. So what do you think happens after Paul raises this kid from the dead? Wow, it's a miracle. Let's alert the media. But what did they do? It says Paul and them went back upstairs and he continued talking to them until dawn. For the love of God, find a place to quit. I always loved it when my preacher dad would say, let's pray, because that meant the sermon was over. What I get from this little story is that if you can't raise people from the dead, let's pray. Wow, that's a nutshell sermon right there. If these little nutshells make you smile in any way or inspire you somehow, I could use your support. Share it with both of your friends. Go to nutshellsermons.com/support and donate what you think a smile is worth. I know they're getting harder to find.